You walk into the grocery store, inhale that fresh ocean scent hanging over crushed ice, and feel safe. But what if the fillets glistening under the fluorescent lights are crawling with antibiotic-resistant bacteria, loaded with industrial metals, or mislabeled entirely? Tonight, we're counting down 7 supermarket chains that insiders warn you should avoid when it comes to seafood. Watch until the end because the #1 offender supplies more American dinner plates than any other store on earth. At first glance, Safeway does everything right. Tidy glass cases, fillets arranged like sushi art, little lemon wedges for flair. But ex-employees say the beauty hides a chilling secret, nicknamed the 2-day ice trick. Every morning, clerks shovel fresh flake ice over yesterday's leftover fish, flipping time-worn fillets to the top and burying limp pieces underneath. Corporate policy demands a first-in, first-out rotation, yet night crews rush to close and skip the paperwork. A 2024 county health inspection in San Mateo, California, cited Safeway for holding tilapia at 48 Fahrenheit degrees into the bacterial danger zone. Management blamed faulty thermometers. Inspectors found 3. Bacterial counts tell the darker tale. Independent lab swabs taken for a consumer advocacy expose revealed Vibrio parahemolyticus on 41% of Safeway shrimp sample organisms that trigger explosive gastroenteritis within hours. Vibrio thrives when crushed ice melts and refreezes nightly, supplying micro-lagoons of brackish water right on the counter. Mislabeling adds insult. DNA barcoding by Oceana in 2023 found packages marked Pacific cod were actually Vietnamese Pangasiusa catfish cousin, farmed in the Mekong Delta, notorious for antibiotic cocktails like enrofloxacin banned in U.S. Aquaculture. Safeway issued a labeling clarification, but removed zero inventory. The supply chain is murkier still. Safeway contracts with a broker called Blue Wave Foods, flagged in an FDA import alert for chloramphenicol residues. Chloramphenicol is a last-line antibiotic for typhoid fever banned in food animals because trace exposure can trigger aplastic anemia. Customs seized 2 Blue Wave shrimp shipments in 2022. Within 3 months, re-exported containers entered Safeway distribution under a different lot number. Paper trail, MIA. Finally, there's the smell test, except Safeway masks odor with a venting trick. Workers angle chilled fans over citrus rinds to diffuse limonene, which temporarily anesthetizes human olfactory receptors. Customers sniff freshness, but bacteria keep multiplying. So behind shining ice displays lurk warm-stored fillets, antibiotic catfish stand-ins, and Vibrio-steamed shrimp. Still tempted? We're just getting started. #6 hides heavier metals beneath bargain stickers. Publix markets itself with wholesome Floridian charm, where shopping is a pleasure. Yet seafood buyers call the pleasure short-lived. Start with mercury. A 2023 University of South Florida study tested grouper steaks from 7 Publix stores. 56% exceeded FDA action levels. Grouper sold as wild Gulf catch, actually sourced from longliners skirting industrial dredging sites near Mississippi River outflows. Sediments laced with methylmercury accumulate in predator fish. Publix responded by posting consumption advisories in 6-point font behind the counter. Then, there's imported farm shrimp. Publix's top mover by volume. Contracts traced to Andhra Pradesh, India, where farmers use nitrofurans to combat Vibrio outbreaks. Nitrofurans break down into carcinogenic metabolites detectable in nanogram ranges. An FDA import refusal report from January 2024 lists 5 lots flagged for nitrofuran metabolite aozol destined for Publix's Lakeland distribution hub. The chain voluntarily destroyed the shipments. Whistleblowers claim boxes re-entered through Mexican transshippers labeled reprocessed. In-store handling raises stakes. Florida humidity fogs, display cases, water drips down glass into pan liners, pooling around fillets. That stagnant runoff breeds Listeria monocytogenes. A 2022 recall of Publix smoked salmon stemmed from the very drainage channels corporate refused to redesign. 2 elderly customers were hospitalized. Publix settled quietly. Temperature logs or digital seem safe until you learn clerks can hit override to suppress alarms when lines grow long. Former seafood manager Tina G told investigators, "If temps hit 43 Fahrenheit, we'd override, add ice, and pray. Listeria loves 40 to 42 Fahrenheit. Finally, greenwashing. Publix touts Marine Stewardship Council logos, but independent watchdog sees at risk discovered forged chain of custody certificates for Publix sustainably harvested swordfish. Real MSC numbers tied back to Indonesian fleets blacklisted for shark fin bycatch. So your friendly neighborhood Publix may dish mercury-loaded grouper, nitrophorin shrimp, listeria drainage, and fake sustainability. Grab a cart? Or maybe push it away. Number 5's discount buzz hides antibiotic sludge. Aldi wins wallets with rock-bottom prices, but seafood cost-cutting tags along with microbial mayhem. Start overseas. Aldi's frozen salmon fillets hail from Chile's Región de los Lagos, where open net pens crowdfish so dense divers joke about living walls. Sea lice infestations prompt farmers to douse nets in imamectin benzoate, an antiparasitic that persists in muscle tissue. The EU caps residues at 100 ppb. Lab tests requested by a German consumer group in 2024 measured 270 ppb in Aldi. Branded packs, imported without US scrutiny. Closer to home, Aldi fresh never frozen tilapia travels pre-thawed from Chinese processing plants. FDA 483 forms list filthy cutting boards, recycled wash water, and rodent droppings. Aldi says heavy metal audits passed, but China's Yangtze River tilapia farms sit downstream from battery factories. Cadmium levels in sediment run 25 times global average. Bioaccumulation puts cadmium in fish, kidneys, and skin. Aldi sells filleted skin, on for extra nutrients. Back of house practice? Aldi staffs minimal employees. One person runs produce, dairy, and seafood. Cross-contamination is routine. A 2023 Minnesota health inspector photographed raw shrimp thawing in cardboard trays inside the dairy cooler. Result: norovirus outbreak traced to a seafood-dairy crossover. Mislabeling persists. DNA tests by the National Fisheries Institute found 34% of Aldi's snapper samples were actually Manhattanan oily baitfish, high in histamine. Histamine spikes cause scombroid poisoning, flushing, headache, vomiting within minutes. Aldi quietly renamed the product Whitefish Fillet, but kept UPC identical. Aldi's sustainably sourced logo references its own internal program. No independent auditors, just paperwork. Investigative journalists revealed chain emails urging suppliers to self-certify turtle-safe nets. Spoiler, most never changed gear. So Aldi's discount haul disguises antiparasitic soaked salmon, California Demium tilapia, cross-contamination norovirus, and histamine hit snapper. Save cents now. Pay ER bills later. Number 4. May surprise America's biggest traditional grocer cutting corners at scale. Kroger operates 2,700 stores and 34 seafood processing facilities across the U.S., a distribution empire moving 1 billion pounds annually. Scale breeds shortcuts. Processing plants in Cincinnati receive bulk frozen fillets, which are thaw-in-bag vacuum pouches from Vietnam. Bags leak occasionally. Staff use handheld bag sealers, then rinse leaked brine down floor drains, spritz surfaces with quaternary ammonium sanitizer, and resume packing. Ammonium kills bacteria, but leaves QAC residues that trigger antimicrobial resistance gene transfers. FDA swabs in 2023 found QAC delta 1 resistance genes on conveyor belts feeding Kroger Simple Truth cod. Mislabeling scandals mount. Oceana DNA audits in 2022 flagged Kroger for wild Alaska pollock that was actually Russian, caught banned for IUU harvesting. Kroger blamed brokers, but kept the SKU active. Heavy metals? Kroger's bargain swordfish steaks carry the smart label QR code claiming mercury testing. Scan the code results awaiting update. Independent tests by Consumer Reports measured 1.4 ppm mercury triple, the FDA limit. Swordfish thrive deeper in mercury-laden thermoclines. Kroger's supplier fish near Philippine artisanal mines, leaking cinnabar tailings. In-store, Kroger pushes self-service seafood freezers. Customers lift lids, rummage bare-handed into open bins of mussels and shrimp. Thermal cameras show lids remain open 7 minutes per customer, raising bin temps to 46 Fahrenheit. DNA fingerprinting linked a 2023 Vibrio vulnificus outbreak in Tennessee to those bins. One immune-compromised shopper required amputations. Finally, sustainability claims. Kroger touts partnership with World Wildlife Fund, yet internal memos instruct buyers to downgrade frozen Pangasius specs to 15% glaze ice, meaning you pay for water weight. Water absorbs thawed proteins, turning the fish mushy, incubating Pseudomonas bacteria that slime over fillets. Scale without scruples equals QAC, residues, Russian roost, Maine arcuary spikes, and warm mussel buffets. Think a warehouse club will do better? Let's roll into number 3. Members adore Costco for giant fillets at low per-pound prices, but seafood scientists shudder. Take the famed Kirkland Atlantic salmon. Costco touts antibiotic-free farming in Norway, yet periodically sources from Chile when supply dips. A 2024 Norwegian Veterinary Institute bulletin revealed Costco's Chilean suppliers administered florfenicol during sea lice blooms. Florfenicol residues persisted at 45 ppb within U.S. limits, but enough to accelerate resistance in gut flora. Norwegian lots stay pristine. Chile lots slip through unannounced. Costco's colossal freezers stack shrimp bags 12 deep. Interior bags thaw partially in summer due to poor airflow, then refreeze. Ice crystals rupture cell walls, creating mush. Bacteria feast once thawed at home. A 2023 outbreak of Vibrio cholerae non-O1 in Seattle tied to Costco shrimp cocktail. CDC incident report cites temperature abuse in transit. On-site filleting tables are stainless but not sealed. Crevices trap fish scales. Video shot covertly at a California Costco shows workers pressure washing scales toward raw fillets. Cross-contamination triggered Listeria recall of smoked salmon in 2022, $25 million write-off hushed behind membership deals. Costco's sushi-grade ahi tuna carries a co-treated label, meaning carbon monoxide gas preserves color. Co doesn't alter flavor but masks spoilage. Old fish stays candy, red for weeks. FDA allows CO but warns retailers to track total volatile-based nitrogen, TVBN levels. Costco audits quarterly at best. A 2023 University of Hawaii study measured TVB, N at 43 milligrams, 100 G, and Costco ahispoiled threshold is 30. Packaging poses hidden risk. Costco vacuum seals fish in polyamide, LDPE laminates. When consumers thaw in warm water, common hack, anaerobic Clostridium botulinum can germinate, producing neurotoxin. One Colorado family required antitoxin after sous vide thawing Costco halibut. Ecocide? Costco says all wild salmon are MSC certified, yet they still sell Russian sockeye via Chinese reprocessing, skirting U.S. sanctions. NGOs call it laundered salmon. So bulk bargains deliver antibiotic chile lots, Colorado masked spoilage, botulism bags, and illicit Russian stock. But what about the organic darling of millennials? Number TWO's halo hides a toxic tail. Whole Foods trumpets responsibly farmed, traceable to source, and color-coded sustainability labels. Yet critics dub that color wheel a carnival of half-truths. Take responsibly farmed shrimp from Thailand. Whole Foods vendor, Charom Pakfan Foods, faced 2023 slavery allegations. Migrant workers forced to peel shrimp 16 hours daily. Beyond ethics, CP farms rely on oxytetracycline medicated feed. Residues persist in shells. Whole Foods sells shell on shrimp for stock. The chain touts random antibiotic tests, but results remain proprietary. Sushi counter yellowtail? Labeled hamachi, DNA sequencing by UCLA researchers found 30% were actually Berrien older, fattier cousin, with mercury averaging 0.7 ppm, breaching FDA thresholds. Whole Foods blames supplier data errors. Then there's parasite risk. Whole Foods markets fresh, never frozen salmon for sashimi, a luxury priced at $29 per pound. FDA guidance requires fish intended raw to be frozen -4°F, 7 days to kill parasites. Whole Foods applies a loophole. Aquaculture feed regimen minimizes parasites. Parasite expert Dr. Mark Chilton in 2024 dissected 20 sashimi packs. 9 contained live Anisakis larvae. In-store wet markets missed similar transgressions. Whole Foods misters spray fine water to keep fillets dewy, but droplets aerosolize bacteria, settle over adjacent raw cheese stands. A Boston Health Department report logged Enterobacter cloacae co-colonization in lobster tails and brie cheese. Plastic trays count too. Whole Foods switched to compostable PLA trays. PLA softens at 120°F. Once packed fillets sit on ice and absorb fish oil, the PLA hydrolyzes, releasing lactic acid oligomers analyzed as endocrine disruptors in zebrafish studies. Finally, marketing colors. Green label equals best choice. Yet Whole Foods gave green to swordfish long-lined off Nova Scotia Gyre kills thousands of sharks annually. Marine Stewardship Council rated the fishery controversial. Whole Foods invented its own metric. So the Organic Shrine sells slave-peeled shrimp, Maine Arcury hamachi, Pennsylvania raisin-laden salmon, and bioplastic EDCs while charging double. If Whole Foods falls short, what hope remains? Brace yourself, the king of low prices is our worst seafood offender. Walmart moves more seafood than any U.S. chain, over 1.5 billion pounds a year. Sheer volume demands race-to-the-bottom sourcing that traps customers in a net of contamination. Frozen tilapia? Sourced from Hainan, China, where farms pump untreated pig manure as feed. USDA tests in 2023 discovered nitromitazole antibiotics, animal drugs flagged for mutagenicity at 4 ppb. Walmart wrote it off as trace, below action level. The EU bans nitrometazoles completely. Wild-caught shrimp? Boxes marked product of Argentina often make secret detours through a Bangladeshi peeling shed flagged for child labor. Sampling by Oceana uncovered exoskeleton microplastics grinding into flesh. Workers peel shrimp on old tarp bags that once carried polypropylene pellets. Mercury monster? Walmart's generic canned tuna, Great Value Chunk Light, claims lower mercury because it's skipjack. Yet in 2024, Consumer Lab measured 0.46 ppm mercury, almost triple the average skipjack level. Likely species substitution with juvenile yellowfin. Walmart denies. Display cases run lean staffing. Clerks handle raw catfish and cooked snow crab clusters with the same tongs during dinner rush. Arkansas health logs show 60% of sampled tongs carried Staphylococcus aureus. One multi-state outbreak of staph food poisoning in 2022 traced back to Great Value Seafood Roadshow. Walmart touts Aquaculture Stewardship Council logos but buys Pangasius from Vietnamese processor Vinh Hoan, slapped with a 2023 import alert for malachite green, a carcinogenic fungicide turning fish bellies greenish. Walmart's defense? We demanded corrective action. Shipments resumed 2 months later. Filet thawing is worst. Stores defrost frozen cod under room temperature tap water to speed up for morning trays. Water stagnates inside vacuum pouches, histamine climbs. FDA field examiners grabbed a 2024 sample reading 700 ppm. Histamine. The threshold for scombroid poisoning is 50. Finally, packaging. Walmart uses the cheapest styrofoam number 6 trays. Styrene migrates quickly into oily fish, who classifies styrene as a probable carcinogen. Walmart promised to phase out styrofoam by 2025. The clock ticks, trays remain. So, Walmart's rollback seafood hides manure-raised tilapia, Massachusetts lechite green pangasius, Maine archery mutants, stave-coated tongs, and styron leech haul under fluorescent, everyday low-price signs. 7 grocery giants, one harsh lesson. The seafood we trust daily is tangled in antibiotics, heavy metals, parasites, slave labor, and outright fraud. Bargain prices and glossy sustainability logos mask a global soup of contamination. If this expose saved you from a toxic dinner, like, share, and smash subscribe. Next episode, we uncover the healthy snacks wrecking your gut. Remember, seafood should nourish you, not endanger you. Until then, shop wisely, cook carefully, and stay hungry for the truth.